Hey guys, it's cmdrSnake here back with the day 2 recap for Capital Clash. So getting straight into it, going over the team standings real quick. We've got the lovely team ladder on Laserbase to look at, looking at the scale points of all the teams, which I've also just chucked into a spreadsheet that we can look at the changes between each round of the comp. So looking between predictions, round robin, Cascade 1, and the first few games of Cascade 2 that got played today. So lots and lots of laser tag got played today. And yeah, so TBA jumping on top of the solo ladder now. The team ladder now. They're doing fantastic. Really, I mentioned yesterday that they had a couple of hiccups in round robin, and when I say a couple, I think only just the one. They dropped that 1 second in round robin. As far as they dropped a couple of games in round robin, and now they are locked in. They're playing some great laser tag methods, playing some great last line. Run and Twinkle's obviously doing some great um attacking and just pack pointing. They're playing a really good control maze control style. So they've managed to make it on top of the solo ladder with all of that. Succulent Chinese Meal jumping into second, which is a little bit of a surprise. I don't think many people would have seen this one coming before the comp. It's a great to see them up there, and they're performing really well in their Cascade One games when they were already in fourth and managed to turn that into second. So they're doing great. Being Curious in third, Goonigans in third, Being Curious in second after the one Cascade 2 game they've played today. Base Bashers jumping in fifth. Meep Meep climbing the ladder quite a lot since their round robin finish. They finished quite below expected in round robin and definitely made up for it in Cascade 1 and the 3 games they've played in Cascade 2. So they're climbing the ladder very quickly, jumping up to 6th. Dirt Page just dropping down to 7th, partially because of the games Meep Meep's played in Cascade 2 over them. They haven't quite played as many games yet. Khan's Rowdy Boys dropping a bit from their Cascade 1 finish into Cascade 2, just below Meep Meep and Dirt Page. Sorry, Meep Meep. And with Small Vietnamese Child, my team dropping 8 spots up Cascade 1. Had a rough Cascade, bit of a rough day. Not entirely unexpected after the really strong result we had in round robin, but looking to try and climb back up and get to around where we were before. Just some rough games. Caucasian Cabbages, Tagaholics, Retribution, Jellies Jorkers, Unicorns of Destruction having quite a drop between in the 4 games of Cascade 2 they've played today. Retribution, Jellies Jorkers, Tagaholics, and Caucasian Cabbages just getting the better of them in the games that they've played, unfortunately. So they've fallen down into 14th. Adelaide Allurates in 15th, and Kelp Pies with Sauce in 16th. And yeah, just the games remaining that for each team of Cascade 2 on the right. So, looking at the solo ladder, we've got a new top 10. Quite shaken up from day 1. So we've got Plank sitting on top of the solo ladder with a 2.31 GRC. He's playing some really, really good laser tag. We have Spider, Runt, Shock, all rounding there, just leading their teams and playing some, really nice laser tag. Spider playing some great maze control, high TR, and Runt and Shock running some attacks, getting some really high score ratios. Finn and VG, home site players, both playing really well, 2 of the best players here in Canberra. We've got Pug Salad, Ninja, Belieber, and Little Bo also rounding out the top 10 on the solo ladder. So moving into the game highlight, the game I want to highlight today is Kelp Pies with Sauce first win. So you can see here that they've had a game against Retribution and Jelly's Jorkers, where really hectic game, 28 bases, and they managed to pull out a win. So it was really great to see, and I know there was a lot of people who were cheering for them to get that win. So it was quite a good moment for everyone, considering that they had 6/3 in round robin, I believe, and they also had a bit of a rough rest of the Cascade, but it was nice to see them start off Cascade 1 with a win. In terms of a team spotlight, I'd love to spotlight Succulent Chinese Meal. Second on the team ladder, they're playing some fantastic tag. We've got Plank GCing and first time GCing really, like properly GCing a competition and doing a fantastic job of it. Finn also really playing some great laser tag at his home site. He's very tricky to deal with. You've got Chaz Bembo and Bro Dizzle in the defense, and they're playing that really well, not dropping many bases. And yeah, they're managing to take down a lot of the top teams. Like you can see, they're Cascade 1. They haven't played any Cascade 2 games yet, but Cascade 1, they finished with 4 wins, a second and a third. Um, Beating Goonigans twice. They beat Being Curious. They beat Dirt Page, Base Bashers. So beating some really, really tough teams to put themselves in the spot they are. So they're playing really, really well. In terms of a player spotlight, I'd love to spotlight Phoenix. So Phoenix is currently playing for Illiterates. It is a rookie. He's from Adelaide, and he's playing an amazing comp for a rookie. He's having some really high scores. He's uh, attacking really well. He's pairing up with Ninja, and they're going out and getting some bases, and yeah, looking to be a very good player. I know Holmes has a lot to say about him as well, and I'm sure he probably will after the comp in the review stream. But yeah, he's playing fantastic. Had some very big games, and unfortunately, illiterates struggling a little bit in the comp. They've had some wins. They've had a lot of seconds, but just still at the bottom of the solid ladder. Of the team ladder. Just above Kelpies, and yeah, we'll have to see how they can go in Ascensions. Speaking of, update of predictions after day 2. Um, I redid the predictions. I think TBA definitely was disrespecting them too much after the day 1 predictions. Like they were already, I think, second on the ladder after round robin, and for some reason I left them in 4th. And now they've just really played quite well. So I've kind of like just inverted the top 4. Being Curious and TBA have been playing some really, really good games. And given that my team was in the spot we were in, got to play against them a lot, and after playing against all those teams, TBA and Being Curious are looking very tough to beat. Goonigan's also playing some really good tag. They're dropping some games, like those 2 that I mentioned to Succulent Chinese Meal, as well as there was a couple others in there. So cracks are forming, and it'll be interesting to see if they can figure it all out and get their stuff together before Ascensions, but they'll have all of Cascade 2 to do that tomorrow. And yeah, Dirt Page down in 4th from 1st is again another tough call. I think finals will be between 3 of these 4 teams. Realistically, like I think Succulent Chinese Meal are up in 2nd and definitely have a shot of like jumping into finals instead of one of these teams. Like, well, there's a few teams that have a shot, but also I think if I were to put money on it, it'd probably be 3 of these 4 teams in finals. Base Basher's just playing really well, and obviously, as I said, Succulent Chinese Meal in 6th. I think there's not much argument there. We've got Meat climbing the ladder still. Got to bump them up some spots. Khan's Rowdy Boys, again, they're climbing the ladder a bit. Got to bump them up. Small Vietnamese Child. After our Cascade, I think we can drop a few spots again. On the predictions at least, because I have some confidence in us. I don't actually personally think that's where we're going to end, but I think from a general standpoint, that is the spot that makes sense for us. Tagaholics, Cabbages, the rest of it is pretty similar. The only big difference is Unicorns moving down a few spots, and I think that kind of just reflects the fact that they've dropped a bit in Cascade 2, and Retribution and Jelly's Jawkers have had a bit of more of a chance to get to know the maze and really understand the flow of the game here. And Gel as a team, really, like Jelly's Jawkers is a bit of a mixed team, whereas Unicorns are a home team, so they haven't really had as much development over the comp. So yeah, that's kind of my predictions. Again, if you disagree, I like a prove it in the maze, and B I definitely am very open to different arguments here. In terms of games to watch tomorrow. So at 10:30 there is a TBA Being Curious and Dirt Page game, which I think is going to be a really, really good game to watch. We've got Dirt Page on red, and Dirt Page love to play their control games, as do TBA, and Goonigans. Goonigans are a fan of slow games as well, as far as I know. They've had a couple of like very late bounce dumps today in their Cascade 1 games, but other than that, I think Dirt Page being sandwiched in between 2 teams that can play control very well is going to make for some really interesting watching. So yeah, with the page on that red base. The other games to watch tomorrow are of course Ascensions. So Ascensions start at 2 p.m. and I am very keen to, well, I'll be watching it all the way through from site, but I think all of the games will be fantastic. All the teams are playing really well this comp. Obviously, tune into Grand Finals, which is slated to be at 8 p.m. So yeah, um, that's kind of my games to watch. The other interesting event for the day was Spider had his finally brought out the, I say finally, brought out the trading cards. So we've got some awesome trading cards now. Everyone's moving around, started to trade and been opening up their packs. So that's been really cool. And there's also the really cool holo cards. So that's made quite a fuss. They've been flying off the shelves. People been buying more, and yeah, um, that's kind of day two from Canberra. So thank you very much for watching.